Good morning, Scotland. Good morning, social media land. I hope you're well. It's Tuesday, the 17th of September, 2024. Throughout history, empires have relied on local elites to maintain control. These people from within the community given power, influence and wealth in exchange for their loyalty to the ruling power. They didn't represent the interests of their people. They represented the interests of empire. And here in Scotland, the same tactics are still being used today. Look at our local political figures like Douglas Ross and Sarwar. They claim to stand for Scotland's interests, but their actions speak differently. They've positioned themselves as defenders of the Union, aligning with Westminster's agenda and subtly working against the push for independence. Subtly is a classic use of local elites to suppress the will of the people by giving these figures a platform, by allowing them to speak for Scotland while they uphold unionist arguments. They reinforce the idea that we can't thrive without the UK, that they act as the voice of caution, spreading fear that independence will bring economic collapse, that Scotland is too dependent on the UK to survive on its own. But who benefits from this narrative? It's not the people of Scotland. It's the UK government, the same power structure that's been exploiting Scotland's resources for decades. And let's not forget the role of the business elites. In 2014, we saw it clearly. Companies like RBS and Standard Life threatened to move their headquarters if Scotland voted for independence. These weren't just empty threats, they were calculated moves to spread fear, to make people doubt whether Scotland could stand on her own 2 feet. Economic fear is a powerful tool. By making people believe that independence will lead to financial disaster, they make people cling to the status quo. It's the same tactic that they used in colonial times. Keep the people dependent, keep them fearful, and they'll be less likely to push for change. But it's not just political figures and business leaders who play this role. There are also those within the movement, the agent provocateurs, the ones who work from the inside to sow discord and distrust. We've seen this with the allegations of the SNP financial mismanagement. The media seized on these claims, blowing them up into full-blown scandals. But the real damage isn't just to the SNP, it's to the entire independence movement. These allegations, often with little evidence to support them, serve as distractions. Instead of focusing on independence, we end up arguing about internal scandals, about who can be trusted, about who is to blame. It's classic divide and rule tactics, but in this case, it's being fueled from within. We have to ask ourselves, how much of this internal discord is real, and how much of it is being stoked by those who want to see us fail? Agent provocateurs exist to create chaos, to fracture movements, to ensure that no real progress is made. So how do we move forward? Well, we have to recognise these tactics. We have to understand that those who claim to represent Scotland may not have Scotland's future in mind. We have to see through the distractions, through the chaos, and then unite around the cause that truly matters. A free and independent Scotland. The real challenge isn't just the external forces working against us, it's identifying those within who are keeping us divided. It's time to break free from the influence of local elites, to resist the provocateurs and to push forward a clear, united vision for our future. Because if we don't, we're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, repeating the same mistakes, pointing the same fingers, and never learning. If you want independence, fight for it. Let's not fight each other anymore. You hear at the pro-Palestinian marches, a people united will never be divided. Presently, just now, the mantra of the independence movement sounds very opposite to that. A people divided will never be united. You have a great day.
can't get no sleep.